Or I could see you 100 different times in 100 different places.
That's right. All that, no question about it, right? So I say that because Easton, for me, Easton was progressive. When I started, I think most of us, when they start us off with this gladiator school, what we used to call back in the 90s. So we'll be shipped to Clinton. I was shipped to Clinton in 1994, right after I blew trail in 93. And you know what I'm saying? Went up
I've been
north
to
in
Clinton
94.
3 times. Trust me.
Huh?
I've been to Clinton 3 times.
Yeah.
Had a
And
good
and
three
we
times.
might have crossed paths in those 3 times because I was there for 13 years.
Yeah.
I was there from 94 to 2006. You know what I'm saying? Really. So what I mean is I was when I was trying to make it to Easton because I was in Clinton and I heard about Easton. They sent me to the Have, Green Haven Correctional Facility. Then I got locked up. They sent me back to Clinton. Now Green Haven was kind of progressive too, but it was still like a gladiator school too. You know what I mean? It was a lot of violence.
Yeah, I did Green Haven in 2000, and it was wide open, and it kind of was like confusing for me. And then I went back up into the mountains and got my mind.
Yeah, and see that's exactly what happened to me. I was trying to get to Easton, but they transferred me to Green Haven in 2000 because of the Y2K.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? So when I went there, that didn't work. 2001, they shipped me back to Clinton Correctional Facility.
I was in there too because I came to Green Haven from upstate box. They pulled us out of upstate box because everybody did a work stoppage in Green Haven. And that's what I told you. We didn't know what to do. I was fresh.
We were all the product of that Y2K that was going on.
I just shot somebody in Elmira, went from downstate to Elmira, straight to upstate box to Green Haven. I was like, this is what prison is. And it, but.
And I was there when the depot security got stabbed up in the yard. That's when I was there. They had us locked down
with Macy and them. Yes, I was there.
So we was there at the same time. Know what I mean? And it's just amazing how, you know what I mean. Now what happened is when I went back to Clinton, I tried to go back to Easton again because I heard about the education. All I had was a GED from Clinton because when I came to prison, I didn't even have a GED. So when I got my GED, I was like, damn, I want to further my education. You know what I mean? So that was my mind frame growing up. So I came to prison at the age of 20. You know what I mean? And to serve that 25 years of life, in which I had to serve 27 and a half. So when I went back to Clinton, instead of them sending me to Easton, because I got approved for Easton to go to school,
Green Haven,
they sent me to Sing Sing in 2006.
I did that too.
So when they sent me to Sing Sing Correctional Facility, a couple of brothers that I grew up with in Clinton, they was in the college program already. So when I came down, I got pulled right in. Right into Mercy College.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's where I received my associate's, bachelor's, and my master's degree. You know what I mean? Because it was there that I was like, oh, whoa, this could make a big difference for me and my life growing up. You know what I mean? Because I knew when we home and we in the street world, like you just said, I was in the streets at 12. You know what I mean? From 12 to 20. I was in Baltimore. I was in DC. I was in a lot of places selling poison to my community. At the time, it was drugs, but when I grew up, it was poison because I realized, I was just this pawn in this game that was being played in our world growing up in environment. So when I realized that I was in Sing Sing now, I was like, yes, this is more progressive. I can definitely use this as a tool to my release, because you said it. They're not giving us nothing unless you give it to yourself. They're not teaching you anything coming out. They're not giving you no re-entry coming out into society.
Listen, in New York will house you forever but they're not going to give you the tools unless you seek them out, right? You know that you have to seek them out, and only now is it starting to get progressive where there are more colleges. You remember, like, when we first came, they had taken it all away and it was gone, and then Bard came, and then Hudson Link and Cornell. Me, I always did well in getting in, but because of the way I started my bid, you don't get to turn it off was the problem, right? And because I was gangbanging from the door, when I started to get my realization and started to wake up, it was karma was catching up with me then. And I was getting kicked out of this facility and that, and I was still chasing my education. So I was in Cornell, I was in Hudson, I was in Bard. I got to experience all of the different colleges that they had and still don't have a degree. But it was because I believe education is key, right? I believe that's the only thing that's going to make, when you're sitting in prison, and the first time I ever read a full book was a Donald Goines book, and it was in prison. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All of my education is from the penitentiary. My desire for education came because I was sitting in a cell and saying that I need to make myself better. How do I do it? And education was the answer at that particular time. And it's a shame that it's not viewed in New York as the process, right? Simple tweaks. If you forced a dude with 25 years to life to save 10% of his money from his jobs in prison for his 25 years, he could come home and have a nest egg that would put him in a position that would help him to succeed. I'd met a dude in Green Haven when we were there that was in the bug out unit. Everyone laughed at him because he picked cigarettes up. But when he went to the parole board, he had saved half of his $9 that he got from sweeping floors for the 7 years he was in prison. And he had his meals, his lodging, and his clothes figured out for 3 months of his release. That was better than most of the dudes that were running around the yard acting like they were the man. You know what I'm saying?
No question. No question. That's a fact too. And you see these cases all the time in the state prison growing up. And I realized that you know it took oneself and will and determination, because let's face it, the state isn't providing us with anything. So what I realized is that we were the ones that did it. Those men that were in there that were growing up saying they wanted something different, we were the one that created classes. We were the one that reached out to these organizations, these nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, God bless Big Chill and all of them dudes, because they definitely helped when I was part of the Lifers organization. And we were like, when I was in ESA, we were trying to pay back for some of the things that we had done, and boom, we were trying to pay back.
Sorry about that. I got a little louder here. This was recorded due to you. But yeah, we definitely, that's what it was. We, you know, and we started in Clinton, because Clinton, anyone that was there know that they had no programs, absolutely nothing in Clinton, you know, but the tailor shop, you know, and I went in there because I wanted, you know, different for me. I never liked to ask anybody for nothing. Yeah. So I said it's going to either continue to be the yard or the tailor shop. Well, you got to get, you know what I mean?
Well, on a real, I have a solution for our government. If we turned our prisons into sweatshops and gave good time, we could compete on a world scale, right? With China, right? Because that's how you pay back society. You want to make our economy strong. You go into the penitentiaries and you let us turn them into factories where you don't have to work. But if you do, we'll give you a percent, and you make them save some of that money, and it would help and you pay them just like we were getting 45 cents an hour.
No question about it. No question about it. And like, it's a lot of things that we don't take advantage of in prison, and some of us do. So what I mean is, we like in the minority, you and I, because you know, like I know that those classrooms might just hold 80 people and there might be 1,600 in the prison. You know what I mean?
No,
So
not even that. You know that out of even in Eastern, 150, only 15 are getting in. You know what I mean? So
that's
with
right.
guard and things and not even that. In some of them places, dudes don't care. They're content with their lot in life. I felt that I was all right with who I was until I knew that I could be something more.
Absolutely, and that's what that moment occurs. You know, that ha moment for us that happens, and to, like you just said, until you realize, you know what I mean, you can do more, be more. So, we talk about that? Can you tell me about your trend coming to prison? How was that for you? Like, was that your first time when you got 25 years,
Nope.
or did